It's probably a nightmare. Yeah, probably. All right, let's jump into the second debate topic. This is pretty the one that I don't know. I don't know, man. Actually, I don't know. I don't know. Which heel turn is better, John Cena or Hulk Hogan? All right,
Ooh.
but before we jump into this, right? I want to caveat this, okay? Because all of us will just go right into and say it's always fuck Hulk Hogan, right? It's always on that.
It is.
But I want to take this in the context of like, hey man, how did both of these make you feel? Like, let's go with that because we could just be like John Cena because fuck Hulk Hogan.
We could. We could.
We could,
Totally fucking could.
but yeah. So, all right, Damien, I'm gonna let you. Let's get you start this off.
All right. So watching that pay-per-view and like it was it was different. It was a different time. There was trash being thrown at him while he's sitting there cutting a promo. It was one of those where, like, Hulk Hogan was already getting booed, like legit go the fuck away booed around that time. So like, it was one of those where it pissed people off in the moment, and then they started to become cool. So people were angry when Hulk Hogan turned heel. John Cena's heel turn made people cry. Grown ups and children, men and women. And then he also, well, didn't he break a Guinness World Record for being faced like for that amount of time and
I
turning
think
heel?
so. Yeah,
So it was two different times. I was shocked by both and pleased by both because, you know, I always root for the bad guy. I think I was a little too happy for John Cena's heel turn though. Um,
really. I couldn't have told from y'all's reactions on the live stream. Like I don't watch along, all y'all.
I know my wife too.
No. You don't bring her into this, okay? Because her actions showed way different from y'all. Because she was like this, like she was like, you on the other hand, I knew it. And then you had Twitch over here as the fucking wild man meme, like I'm not trying to hear it. I'm not
Oh no,
trying to
because
hear.
you don't understand.
I waited 2 weeks to call y'all motherfuckers out for
I
this.
enjoyed it way too. It was one of those situations where I think it was like shock in the moment to the point where it was like I had nothing to say, but like I was happy.
Right.
Like it was, like I felt like what that meme with Darth Sidious going yes. So like so I guess for me who because like I literally saw both of these fucking like on television live. Ah,
I'm pretty
I'm
sure all three of us did. That's why it's so funny because if Chaz was here, Chaz would have been like John Cena because I didn't really wasn't there when Hogan turned, but I just remember like watching it back and just knowing it was gonna happen. But for like us, we all watched it live, like we saw it happen.
didn't see it coming, of course,
Right.
but it was one of those where it was like when it happened, it was like thank God. Like for me, it was like yes, please. So like I like both situations, I was very elated, and I probably shouldn't have been. However, I'm gonna go with John Cena,
Okay.
and that's just because I felt like after Hogan turned heel, instead of trying to cut a promo, they should have just posed and walked off as everybody was throwing trash at him. I think he should have waited until Nitro, like to cut his promo.
Right.
Like you could barely hear it.
Right. I mean, he was getting booed out the building.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, there was like a lot of heat for his heel turn, but again, John Cena's heel turn made children cry. Hogan's heel turn did not make anybody cry.
I don't know about all
I
that.
mean, yeah, you
I
don't
don't know.
really know that though.
Yeah, because social media wasn't a thing.
And
Like,
Well, true, but what
yeah.
kids were crying? I mean,
I will be okay. Let me be fair with you. Let me be fair with you. I'm gonna put this out there. Okay, I was one. I was one of them
you
kids.
were sad when
I
Hulk Hogan
was sad.
turned.
You mean to tell me that the great immortal Hulk Hogan, right? The guy that told me to say my prayers and eat my vitamins and to be a good person and the dude like that did no wrong. I just watched him in Three Ninjas Kick Back, right? Like I saw him like in all these great movies that I thought were great at the time that really weren't that great as I'm supposed to be. Commando, right? Mr. Nanny. Like I seen him in all these movies, right? And I'm over here watching Hulk Hogan do his thing. And then this man walks out, and my favorite wrestler is laying there on the ground holding his neck. And this man just says, fuck him, and drops a leg drop on him. I was like this. I was Eve. I was like, what just happened?
How old were you when that happened?
What was that, 96?
Yeah,
11.
I was 16.
See
That's
what I
why.
mean?
See, that's why.
No, you were
I
too
was
busy
at
thinking
that. I
about,
was
man,
at
I'm about
that
to get
point
this
where I
nut
was
real
sick.
quick.
Well, I'm just saying, I was at that point where I was sick of Hogan.
Right.
Yeah, like I'm
But
like
you
I
but
was
you asked the
15.
question, like what kid? I
Oh
mean, I was a
well, I
preteen.
get. All right, well,
I mean, I'm answering the
I'm
question,
sorry that
Chaz.
you cried for Hogan turning. I guess you might be the one out of the millions of people that have seen it. Um,
Don't do that.
there
Don't do
weren't that
that.
many. Well, I mean, there weren't that many. There weren't that many children that went to WCW shows for
John,
the
listen,
longest time until
listen.
like a little
Hulk
bit
Hogan
after
told
that.
me as a kid, hey, listen, take your vitamins, say your prayers. And he's like, and all those kids that I told them to take their vitamins and say their prayers, you can stick it. And I didn't know what that meant, but that hurt. That hurt a lot.
Oh shit! Oh god!
And then he came
Oh,
back out on Monday Nitro and said it again, like to Mean Gene. He was like, Mean Gene, I said what I meant, and those kids, they can stick it. And then he got booed, and I was like, I don't know what that means still. Like, this is a day later. I'm still confused. Go on, Twitch.
so
Oh, I didn't get my answer. I just talking about it. I'm still going to say John Cena,
this
though,
is
because it was just so crazy.
it was.
this is a case of different eras.
Yeah,
Yep.
You're comparing an era that wasn't controlled by social media or the internet wrestling culture or or any of that. None of that was the mainstream media wasn't covering professional wrestling at that time and point.
right.
Not
I
like
mean,
that.
Yeah, social media controls it is a big thing with wrestling nowadays. Wrestling is also a little bit more mainstream than it was back then. So, of course, you're going to see John Cena's heel turn everywhere, no matter where you look. Uh, More impactful, Hogan. More out of the blue, Cena.
see, I don't know. I don't know if impact wise, I do understand the foundations that shook right when
When Hogan
Hogan
turned heel.
turned. But with John Cena, bro, 20 years. Like, I'll be honest, man. If I was on the live stream, y'all see my reaction. I turned into Channing Tatum on Jump Street 22 when he
Oh,
found
God.
that meme was like, oh shit. I was like, I didn't even know John
His
Cena was
daughter!
I just didn't even know that John Cena was an option to
I
like
didn't
turn.
either. I took him off my card
Yeah.
for like
Uh,
I was
I
like,
was
oh,
like,
so I guess Cody's gonna accept it because my
yeah, I
original
was
thought
like,
was
it's
that
Cody, it's Punk, right?
yeah,
Like
like
that
whoever
might have
won
been.
the chamber was probably going to turn if Cody wasn't going to say yes. And then Cena won. I was like, oh, well, this is going to be awkward. And then it happened, and I'm like, oh shit, okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that was an option.
I I think because social media being such a big thing and it being played on the news, on ESPN, on no matter where you turn and look, I think Cena's heel turn will go down as better. But what we got from Hogan's heel turn, I think will go down in history.
I'm gonna be honest though, like keep it a buck 50. What did we get with Hogan's heel turn? Like I don't want to be. I'm not trying to be that guy. Like
I know you're not, but
yeah,
probably one of the greatest fucking heel factions of all time. We got the NWO out of it. Do you
but the
think
outsiders were already cool. Like they
I,
were already that dude. Those dudes. They
I
didn't
get
need
that now,
Hogan.
but do you think the NWO would have worked with Sting, who was supposed to be the original guy?
No,
I
No,
I
don't.
don't. I don't.
and they
But
did. But the thing is,
honestly,
did they really need a third guy at that point?
yeah, that's my
Yes.
point. I don't know if they needed Hogan. To be fair,
They
like
could have waited. They
Paul and
could have waited
Nash,
for.
no.
They could have waited for Six to show up, and that could have turned out just as good.
I don't know about. I don't
I
know. I
don't
don't
know
know if
about
they
that one. I think
I
that's a bit
think
of a reach, but
I think what and to not that I would play this out there, right? I
I was
think
enjoying his match.
Hogan was getting this going away he and I think he just kind of like jumped on this opportunity because like when I look at it, right? I mean, I think about guys who could have been that dude that would have been associated. I mean, I'm looking at obviously I'm looking at Hall, Nash, right? Because those two were just the leaders. The outside, they were the dudes. But at that time that I'm seeing, like Flair could have also been like that guy too. He would have fit in with the NWO, and we wouldn't have even talked about Hogan with it. Macho Man, like Macho Man
Macho
was
Man, I'll
problematic.
give you Flair. I don't think would have fit in with it.
He may have been an awkward man, but I'm just saying that Macho Man would have definitely also fit
Macho
in
Man
with.
would have been. I would have get yeah.
And I think the reason why, and I get the reason why with Hogan is because he was
The star power
the
that you
star.
get with
Yeah,
Hogan.
yeah, and I do understand that, and I do get it. But I think the way it impacted. Listen, like I have friends who don't even know wrestling. Period. They don't watch. They know that John Cena turned heel, and they know that term, which is even crazier to me. They're like, "Yeah, he's a heel now." I was like, "Do you even know what that means?"
That's so blown. That's so mind blowing that I turned on ESPN and here's fucking Charles Barkley saying John Cena turned heel. Like, what? When? When
Yeah.
did this become a thing?
When did
I
this
don't
become a
know.
word? And then like, I'm getting in the car on the Monday morning and they're talking about this father daughter. They were doing this like this happy news story about this dad who like he had cancer and like he was fighting off cancer and his daughter wanted to have a dance and no, I'm sorry, the daughter had cancer. She was beating cancer, and then the father, she couldn't make it to the high school, like their dance, the daddy daughter dance, and so they brought it to her at the hospital. And the guy was like, and then he grabbed his daughter, he gave her a hug, and then he looked at the camera, and then he turned heel on the daughter, and I was like, what is going on right now? then they played the John Cena theme song right after, and I was like, oh my god, like this is a radio station that never talks about wrestling. That here they are talking about John Cena, like just you know kicking Cody in the dick, like it was wild to me. It's still wild to me. But yeah, I think Cena's. And I don't want to say because of recency bias, right? But I think John Cena, man, 20 years of like wanting this man to finally turn heel, and here's his final run, and it was almost equivalent. And it's more equivalent than when Mark Henry did it. Remember, because Mark Henry was like, "I'm doing a
Yeah,
retirement." We all got behind him. Then John Cena got
Yeah,
his ass kicked. But here's John Cena, like he's like, "Hey, this is the last time, and I'm the good guy. And if you want some, come get some, because the last time is now." And we're like, "We're gonna cheer him the whole way, yeah, John." And then he turns heel, and we're like, Whoa.
What did we do?
What are we doing? We wanted to cheer this man away. Now we're booing him every time he's like even mentioned on like
There he
promo.
is.
So I don't know, man. I have to
Next Monday will be the tell on how well this works.
yeah, it will be. All right, let's go into back into it. Wrestling is raw. Hey, do Cafe Han a few years ago. Bobby Heenan kind of ruined it, unfortunately. I mean, with that line when he did say it too, he was like, "What team is he on?" I do understand. I do
Yeah,
understand. I do understand.
kind of did.
Uh, I was just about to say, "F that man." You're 100% right. I'll say Larry Zbyszko turning on Bruno. You know what's interesting? We didn't even talk about this, and I should bring it up. WWE announced their top 30 heel turns, right? Um, and I'm gonna read it off, right? Because John Cena is number one, Hogan is number two, Seth Rollins turning on the Shield is number three, Sean turning on Marty Jannetty is four, and then Dominic turning on Ray is five.
Huh.
And then I'll round it out, whatever. Kofi and Xavier turning on Big E, Becky Lynch turning on Charlotte Flair at SummerSlam, Jimmy turning on Jay, Nikki turning on Brie, and then Triple H attacks Bryan, leading to Randy Orton cashing in Money in the Bank at SummerSlam is 10. But there's some notable heel turns that are missed on here, and one of them that Twitch and I were talking about was uh, when KO turned on Jericho is not on this list at
Oh,
all. On the top 30, it's not on here.
But Trish turning on Jericho is.
Lita betraying Kane and to join Edge is on this list.
Get the fuck out of here with this
24th.
dumbass list.
well, then is Chris Jericho on there at all?
No, and that was the thing. That was
You
the
know
thing that I
why?
was thinking about.
You
Yeah, yeah,
know
yeah.
why? You
Yeah,
know why?
100%. 100% I know why.
He is on that list though.
Is he on the list? Oh yeah, he is.
Trish
Trish turns
turning
on.
on
Yeah,
Jericho.
Trish turning on Chris Jericho. Yeah,
Yeah, but
so
he didn't turn or any. Well,
nah,
that
but
was
it's
weird
trash.
though.
Nice try to
That
smear
that
his name.
should
Nice
that
try to smear
actually
his
no,
name,
but you're
Jamie.
right. The
It
Kevin
failed.
Owens Jericho, like Kevin Owens turn on Jericho was so much better than the other one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That wasn't
Well, I
missed.
mean, like here's like I'll read another one too that I just like I didn't think needed to be on this list. Lita betrays Kane and joins Edge, right? That's one that I don't think needs to be on this list. Bailey attacks Becky Lynch. Just to give you an idea too, right? Becky Lynch turning on Charlotte at SummerSlam. You know why that moment doesn't matter? Because of that moment, she did that you people promo and the crowd never turned.
No,
They
they
didn't
didn't
turn on
really.
her. And
They
in
were
fact,
behind.
because of that, she became the bad guy, then she became the man, and then guess what happened? Now she's the man. So I'm like, no, that's trash. Uh let's go to this. I don't think it was intentional that Heenan did it, but it kind of took away from it. True. Uh well, we didn't have the media the way it is now with Hogan. And I think that if Hogan had the media attention like now, it would have been a big deal. I think it was still covered like with the news and stuff like that, but it wasn't like nearly
Like
as
it wasn't a big. It wasn't made like a
nah,
super duper big deal like
no, no, no.
Cena's.
So I wish I would have been there. Uh, growing up and children, men and women, and Chaz. Oh well, that's why he's drinking 5 beers at night. He's going through it.
I don't know if Chaz can handle 5 beers.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's it. It's over his
I don't
weight.
know either.
It's
I
over
don't know.
his
He
weight
might.
limit. I promise you.
He might be laying in his bed if he's drinking 5 beers, feeling like trash.
He might be
How
going to
did
the
Chaz
hospital
react?
with alcohol poisoning.
Can't
Chaz
even handle a 6 pack.
Chaz didn't read. Chaz didn't. I don't know what Chaz's reaction was. I could tell you that Chase's reaction was like gone. He was like those kids.
Chaz jumped. Chaz
Chaz
jumped
jumped
on the
on.
podcast. He was in
He
tears.
Was
was
he?
literally in tears.
I
In
didn't see.
tears.
And you could hear Chase in the background asking him if it's over yet and sounded like he was crying.
Worse than you at the Rumble with Ray and Penta.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go back
Like,
and find that
like
moment.
worse than you.
yeah. It
Because
ruined
he's
his
a little
childhood.
bitch.
Do you know you're getting called out when Red Dog? You called out when Red Dog is finger wagging.
That's that old age showing on him.
Yeah, man, just mm-mm.
No.
Let me see. Let's see what they do with it. True, it is about it. Different audiences, right? More kids are watching WWE. I don't. I think a lot of kids were watching WCW. and
Yeah.
WWF at that time.
I
Like,
was a WCW kid.
didn't ever watch WCW. So yeah, more kids were watching WWE than ever watched WCW.
Yeah.
Wasn't Professor Tatanka in one of the Three Ninja movies? Yes.
Yes.
I was like that with Goldberg Lesnar 5 years ago. Damn, 16.
Yes, and
First
I
of
love
all,
When we,
great.
the way I
when
read
we
it
say
too,
he is old,
the way I read it too wasn't necessarily like me reading like that is not how I read it in my head. I read it like Kevin Hart was like, damn. I'm not saying how old I was. That's because Mr. Golden had just turned 45. Yeah, the good old days.
With no social media, yeah.
Yeah. Until they added 15 other members talking about
the
PlayStation
NWO.
3
It
and
Yeah.
was
they added
more
everybody.
than that.
They did.
They had subdivisions.
No, they did have subdivisions.
That's how we got
WWE ranks top 30 heel turns. There's Chaz, up here. Triple H and Orton. Actually, I remember seeing that one on there. Was that on that list? I want to see. I don't remember
When
seeing.
I believe that
Evolution,
was 16. I could be wrong.
when
Nah,
Evolution
16
turned
was
on.
Eddie turning on Ray.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's not actually. I don't even see that on here.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's not on
But
here.
Lita turning on Kane is. Get
Yeah.
the fuck out. That fictitious list.
No. Yeah, but we saw that one coming. Hogan. For the watch along. Poor Chase. Hold on. Red Dog Matumbo. That's crazy because I own a Matumbo jersey.
You would.
Yeah, well, he was the Nuggets, and he was a part of the Nuggets franchise, and he's amazing. Love that man. Ron Simmons, facts. Thumbs down match. The thumbs down match. All right, let's jump into this last debate topic because it's not really a debate topic. But Mr. Golden, you're gonna find this.
What's up? It is your friendly neighborhood Red Dog, and thank you for checking out this episode of the 3 Count Podcast. Whether that was Chaz Friends, Red Dog Friends, Damien Friends, The Films Lounge, Now Entering the Ring, Now Entering 201, or Now Returning to the Ring, all those great episodes, you should really be liking, commenting, and even sharing this with your friends, family, whoever it may be. But what you all should be doing is checking us out on all of our social media platforms at 3 Count Pod, whether that's on IG, Twitch, you can check us out on Threads, whatever it may be. And if you go check us out on X, it is 3count_pod. Check us out on YouTube, as well as Facebook, on Rumble, on Apple Music, on Spotify, all those fun things. Tell your mom about us, your dad about us, your aunties, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, and your best friends and your enemies, because we love haters too. Do all that stuff. And then, last but not least, buy our merch on foryourwear.com or prowrestlingtees.com. Kawaii.